when you're peeling oranges, don't rub your eyes afterwards, because that's not good.
Thanks for the tip that I've known since I was a teenager.
Yeah, but my eyes itch.
Because you put your finger in your eye.
I didn't put it in my eye. What? Are you stupid?
Are you stupid?
You're
telling me...
Are you stupid?
You're telling me not to peel an orange and then rub my eyes. Like, I'm 40-something years old here. I know that already.
Yeah,
I've lived in Florida, the citrus capital of the world.
But you could peel an orange, get distracted, and then go to wipe your eye, and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
And I keep wiping my eye.
So stop doing it.
Oh, there's something in it.
Stop doing it! You got pulp in your eye.
Maybe. Pulp Fiction. There's not a pulp nonfiction. There's just Pulp Fiction.
No,
right?
there's a pulp friction.
But that's the porn.
Yeah.
Right. That's like Saving Ryan's Privates. I think that's my favorite porn title. I haven't seen it. I just love that name.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of these, but how about Good Will Humping? Was that a thing?
I don't know. See, I don't know if any of these were actually movies.
No, Pulp Fiction was. I remember it was made news when it came out. I never watched it.
No.
I promise you, I never watched it.
Right.
I feel like Good Will Humping was a thing, too.
Probably.
Oh,
it's hilarious.
Oh, the 90s.
I used to...
The 90s, when you actually had to, like, go to a place to rent pornography. Like, these days, it's, like, in your face. You can almost not even try to look for it, and there it is.
Right, yeah.
It's right in your face. And the teenagers, man. I know I sound like an old curmudgeon-y fuck right now, but the teenagers, it's just how they grew up. They've had pornography in their back pocket since the day they were born.
I remember, I think I was in my 20s when I realized that my phone was portable porn.
You were in your what?
I think in my 20s. I think around when I was 20 is when...
Have we had cell phones that long? 90s? No.
Sometime in the late 90s. It was around 2000 when I was like... looking at my phone thinking, this is a small screen, but I could take this into another room. But then right after that I had the epiphany, OMG, what if I was like I was, when I was 15, imagine, because back then you had to search for it. You had to go through your parents' room or something, or maybe someone, you're living with someone. I was in a situation where I was always living with someone else. So I ended up with being able to look into many people's things.
Well, the iPhone didn't exist until 2008 or 2007, something like that. So it wasn't the late 90s that you were able to do it. Like, phones before that were just basically those big brick things.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was early 2000.
It was late 2000. It seems like it's been around for a long time, like the iPhone and the portable phones and the screens and stuff.
Swore I had it.
But I remember it was like 2005 or 2006, and Steve Jobs was still saying that the iPod would never have a video function because the user experience wouldn't be high enough.
Okay, so
enjoyable enough.
10 years. So go past 10 years ago, and then you had to search for porn.
Yeah, like in 2005. Well, there's the internet.
Right, but it took 10 minutes to download half a picture, and then you'd realize, oh, that's gross. I don't want that. And then
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Dial up the
Well, I know that you're talking about that, but I don't.
You just type in boobs or something, and just to see what you get, and then you get.
No, I don't. I've never done that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Back then, when I first started doing it, I was so afraid.
When I first started doing it.
Well, come on. When you're a kid and you're like, internet.
Dude, I got news for you. You were not a kid in the 90s. You were an adult. When I met you, you were an 18-year-old person. So in the 90s, you were in your 20s.
80s. I think I'm thinking of in my 80s.
There were no 56K baud modems in the 80s.
In my teens. I don't know what the damn dates are. I just remember we just got dial-up, and I'm thinking
that was the 90s.
Oh no, I'm gonna to search for because man, I didn't have anything.
It was circa 1994,
and so I just curious, but I kept thinking that the internet service provider was watching what you look at, so I would only do like it once or twice. And I was like, oh, that's enough because they're going to tell my dad or something. I don't want them knowing I was looking at boobs. But it was always disappointing because it took 5 minutes just to see a side boob or something. And it never worked out.
Yeah. Not that I condone the objectification of women or anything, Brad. You've said boobs like 3 times.
What do you want me to call them? Breasts?
Breasts!
I love the breasts.
We are not... All right.
I don't know what else you want me to say. I think it's rude if you say things like milk jugs or...
Well, don't say it.
My
students are listening. By the way...
Your dog is eating dust. He's licking dust.
By the way... The episode from a couple weeks ago when we did the Meg, maybe it was just last week, where I said, don't say that my students might be listening. Well, a student listened to that and came back and said, oh, I heard where you said my students might be listening because your friend's on drugs.
On drugs?
Yeah, you said,
caffeine.
You said drugs make you feel good. Make you feel better, able to function.
Oh, yeah. I can't function without them. But I'm talking about, caffeine, sugars.
You're talking about prescription medication.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't use illegals.
I don't use illegals either. Drugs or...
Mexican.
No, I was going to say immigrants, illegal immigrants. So that's it. That's it. We'll see you next time.
That's the end of the show.
Oh, wait a minute. No, we're just now getting started. So... This time we have a recommendation show. This is a quick picks episode where we're going to recommend a couple of things. So this episode is a recommendation show. We're talking about Crazy Rich Asians, and what were you going to recommend?
I think this is the Crazy Asians episode because I've got like Crazy Asians on a train and Crazy Asians playing soccer. I have a kung fu movie to recommend. On Hulu.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the one that's in theaters, Crazy Rich Asians. Now, Crazy Rich Asians is based on a book called Crazy Rich Asians. And by the way, it's not Crazy Asians, it's Crazy Rich, and they're Asian. It's crazy. They're crazy rich. They're not just rich, they're crazy rich.
Okay.
That's to clarify. It's not saying they're crazy. A lot of people I've talked to, a few people I've talked to have said, Crazy Rich Asians, what kind of a name is that? Like, it seems offensive, but it's just because they don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
So it got turned into a movie. It's directed by John M. Chu, and it's starring Constance Wu, and I guess, is that the one that's from...
Constance Wu.
She's the one from Off the Boat, Straight Off the Boat or something?
Fresh Off
the Boat, which I won't watch because it's on network television. Henry Golding and Michelle Yeoh from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and it has... an array. It's like a wide range of people. There's Lisa Liu, Aquafina.
Not Lucy Liu.
It's.
You said Lisa Liu.
Lisa Liu is this older lady.
Oh. Maybe that's her mother.
The Jimmy O Yang, the guy from
Hero. Is that Hero?
No, that's not Hero. That's the guy from Silicon Valley.
Oh, Silicon Valley. The guy who took the house.
The annoying guy from Silicon Valley. He's the most annoying character.
That's the guy from Super... what's that dude? Nico Santos? He's from Superstore.
He's hilarious in the movie. Anyway,
Is he gay in the movie? Because he's gay in Superstore.
He plays sort of in a flamboyant... Yeah.
Okay.
So the movie is like every Asian you've ever seen in a movie... They're all in this movie.
Well, I don't see the guy from Big Trouble in Little China.
No, but...
Or the guy from Mortal Kombat.
No, I don't...
Those are the two guys I see in everything.
I don't know if he's in that or not.
He's not. I don't see him.
But the guy from Ken Jeong Ken Jeong.
Oh, he is and everything.
From
what's that stupid
what's
movie?
the name of the movie? The Hangover.
Hangover.
It's not stupid. The first one is really good.
Yeah.
And when he comes jumping out of the trunk naked, wrapping his arms and his legs around them, that is hilarious. That is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a movie because it's crazy and you don't expect it. Anyway, this is the first movie in 25 years that has an all-Asian cast.
In America, you mean?
Yeah, in America. in the first Hollywood movie in 25 years. The last one that was the same thing was the Joy Luck Club which was released by Disney, I think. So, and I never saw the Joy Luck Club, but it took 25 years later to have a film that even an Asian-centric film that wasn't like a kung fu movie or somebody
or a horror movie.
Yeah. So just in terms of that, it's a sort of a landmark moment. So that's the reason I decided to go see it, because the trailer actually did not speak to me. It did not.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that they were Asian or anything like that. It just seemed like something that was going to be pretty formulaic and just a regular old rom-com. However,
in fact, I didn't go see it. You offered to take me with you, but I just kept saying no because I was just against seeing the movie, and then you come back and tell me that it was good. Well, so you got to convince me why I should.
So this movie is, first of all, it's not a it's got love elements in it, but it's not a boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy breaks girl's heart, boy and girl get back together at the end of the movie.
And then boy runs after girl at an airport.
It's not that. However, there is an airport scene. But it's not that. But what it is they are already together at the very beginning of the movie. They've been together for a year at the beginning of the movie. And they are going home to meet his family for a wedding. What she doesn't know, and what we know from the trailer, what we already know from the trailers, is that he's rich. He's like one of the wealth. He is the wealthiest family in Singapore, because when his family moved to Singapore, they bought a hotel, and then they bought more hotels. So they own or have built almost every piece of real estate on the island in Singapore. I'll just say in Singapore.
Maybe.
So
I don't know geography.
So, but it's a sort of it's a class separation of classes. He's a rich guy. He was raised well groomed, not manicured. I mean, what's the word when somebody's
trained,
raised properly?
Disciplined.
When they're raised properly, they're pedigree. He has a the right pedigree.
They fed him good dog food.
She is just she's not just an Asian, she's an Asian American, and she came from a single mom, single parent family. She sort of worked her way up. She's an economics teacher at a college, and so she is not the sort of person that this guy's mom wants him to be with. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyway, that's the premise. The deal is that first of all, it's heartwarming in places. So the comedy element, the rom-com element is there. It's jokey, it's got funny stuff, it's got stuff that's and it's a little heavy-handed in places where it's they're hitting the sappiness a little hard, and the performances are good in the moment, but in that moment it was funny, but in the next moment maybe it seems a little over the top or whatever.
What's interesting, I saw on the last America's Got Talent, what's his name? The bald
Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel just came out and said that he just saw Crazy Rich Asians and he thought it was great, and he was telling everyone to see it.
So I was with my daughter. My daughter actually wanted to see it, so that's who I went to see it with. So what catches you off guard is the fact that they really do a good job throughout this movie of manipulating your emotions in a way that a really good movie can do. Movies are capable of manipulating your emotions in a way that no other medium can. Like we were talking about the Meg. Just the sight of the dog and the music got you, it got you. You had to get up and walk out of the theater because you're a pussy. But also because it manipulated your emotions. But
I can handle anything except dogs getting hurt.
So there are moments in this movie where you really feel for the characters and you it's true emotion. You feel the emotion. They're crying or they're happy. The movie is full of those ups and downs that are so rich and pure. It's like there are moments of pure joy, and there are moments that are just silly funny, and there are moments of pure heartbreak, and you actually feel it. It's very well directed in that way. It's like that's all the director, and maybe have to do with the writing, but it's the way the director presented the material was really good. Colors, the colors in the movie, it's all real lavish. It's all about rich people, so they all have fast cars. They're all well dressed. They're all impeccably put together. But
maybe that's another reason I wasn't interested in seeing it.
The colors? Do you only want to see?
No, I mean just the whole rich thing, and I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing things with rich people.
Well, this is a story that uses that well, and it doesn't seem like just an excuse to. Because honestly, the rich people are sort of in this movie. They're sort of ignorant to anybody else's problems. They're kind of assholes. So they're not the good people. They're not presented in a, hey, look how cool we are because we're rich. The main character is somebody who is sort of poor and came from worked or scratched her way up to wherever to the middle ground that she was in when we first met her. Mm-hmm. So everybody else is just sort of the rich people are sort of crazy rich Asian.
Yeah, she's not good enough for you kind of a thing.
The movie has, I'm gonna say it. Wedding scenes in movies tend to be, oh, here's another wedding scene. It's just like the Dearly Beloved, we are gathered here today. All that bullshit.
Yeah, here's someone who's drunk. Here's someone who's
the mom's crying. The dad
ruin the wedding.
The mom's either sobbing or the dad is crying because he doesn't want to let his little baby girl go. Anyway, this movie has the most beautiful wedding scene in a movie I have ever seen, and the standard, in my opinion, was Rachel getting married, which was sort of which was a sort of an Indian wedding. It had.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie. Why would I say the best?
You said Rachel, and I was thinking, Friends or something.
No. Rachel getting married.
That's a movie. There's a movie called Rachel Getting Married.
Rachel Getting Married. It has Anne Hathaway in it.
Okay.
It was one of the ones where Anne Hathaway sort of started to break away from her Princess Diaries thing.
Yeah.
And it was a drama, and it was directed by the guy that did Silence of the Lambs.
IMDb, I call upon your power. Give me sight beyond sight.
Getting Married. It had Anne Hathaway, and it's directed by Jonathan Demme. Drew a blank on his name there.
I don't know who
that
is.
He directed Silence of the Lambs. I've already said it twice. So anyway, but this movie is there's so much money and lavishness in this wedding, but it was done so elegantly and beautifully and there's emotions pouring out of the thing, and it's and I'm not one for the sappy wedding scenes, but this one was shot so well. It was beautifully framed, beautifully put together, all of that stuff. It really did. People were sort of gasping in the theater. It's oh, that's beautiful.
Really?
You could hear, yeah.
Okay.
Look, just because you don't give a shit about people or things doesn't mean that it's a bad movie.
I'm still not going to see it.
Fine.
It didn't help.
And I'm not going to watch either of the movies you're about to recommend.
I already showed you the cool shit.
You showed me, and I was not impressed.
The only thing you're supposed to be impressed by is how brutal stunt people were getting beat up.
So, Crazy Rich Asians, it's good fun. You do not have to be Asian to appreciate it. That's what everyone's afraid of. That's what took so long for this movie, movie like this to come out, is that...
Can we just say in general that you don't have to be black to watch a movie with black people?
Yeah.
And you don't have to be Asian to watch a movie with Asians.
Yeah, because black people and Asian people have been watching movies with just white people in them forever.
Yeah.
So it works both ways. It is a lot about the Asian culture, the Asian upbringing, and stuff like that. But it's more like that's just part of the story. It's not beating you over the head with cultural activism or anything like that. It is really just a movie, and it just happens to be about Asians.
Do you know
some rich Asians
who wrote it? Well, I guess an Asian person must have written the book.
It's based on the book by...
I was just wondering if it's one of those weird things where a white person wrote the script or something.
It's based on the book by Kevin Kwan. No, it's not. It's all Asian cast and crew. I don't know about all crew, but...
Yeah.
And it was... I do not know who these screenwriters are, but Kevin Kwan is the guy who wrote the book, and he's from Singapore, where he wrote the book about.
Okay.
So,
it checks out.
If you would like to see it, it's funny, it's heartwarming, it has moments of like great beauty and elegance in it, and I literally was wanting to see it again just to rewatch that wedding scene. I'm telling you, man, it was very well put together.
Okay.
It was very well put together,
yeah.
And not because I like wedding scenes, but because as a moment of cinematography, music, emotion, like heightened emotion, it comes right after a down moment in the movie. So the wedding is there, and it's like so like feel good. It's like pure feel goodness in that moment. And it's done well. I don't like it when movies are feel good for the sake of feeling good, but it was such an emotional cue from the previous few scenes. Mm-hmm. It worked, right? It was done. It was done perfectly. I will say it was done perfectly.
Oakley dokley.
So if you want to go see Crazy Rich Asians, it's in theaters now. It's been out for at least a couple weeks. It's still doing well at the box office, and I ultimately think that to support diversity in movies, as many people should go see it as possible. But this one is not one of those I feel like you're going to regret supporting. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I got to go see, some stupid exploitation film just so they'll make more movies with Asians in it. It's not like that. It's a real movie, and it just happens to be about rich Asians.
What would you consider to be an Asian exploitation film?
I don't know.
The hell do you mean?
I don't know.
That?
You mean
like a kung fu movie?
Like a kung fu movie that came out in theaters and like, look, they're all Asians in it. You gotta go see it. And like, maybe you don't want to, but you go see it anyway, just to support the fact that it's a diverse film.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of other movies that you could support.
They're not. There's one movie in 25 years that has Asian people in it.
No, but you said if you want to support diversity, there's all kinds of...
Right, but the thing is, Asians are the most...
Hold on. I want to explore this weird thing of all this... what is this, white guilt? Like,
it's not white guilt.
You think people are looking for ways they can support Asians?
It's
it's an Asian
guilt.
movie. Let me go just to support
You make fun of me all the time for being like very... Which is not true, by the way, like closed off to certain kinds of movies.
Yes.
I feel as though I am different. I'm the opposite of that. I will see many things, and I will see things based on the... it's almost like when we went to see Sorry to Bother You. Going to see Sorry to Bother You was a great movie. We wanted to see it. But it was also it was also like an act of... protest to go see the movie, because movies like that don't get made very often, so you have to go see them, so they will make more movies like that.
I went to see it because I thought it would be awesome, and it was.
Yeah, but
I didn't have in mind, I want to support.
Well, I did because I'm aware
movies.
I'm aware of the world around me. Not black movies, diverse movies that are about something other than white people getting the girl at the end.
Okay. Well, you're never going to guilt me into seeing like a Crazy Rich Asians by you should support diversity.
No, I'm not saying that that's the reason you should go. I'm saying that this movie is a good enough movie to where you can support diversity in movies from Hollywood and see a good movie at the same time. That's what I said.
I feel like watching what was the watching what's the blonde movie? The blonde kick-ass
Atomic Blonde.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah,
that's supporting diversity.
it is.
There you go. That's my little.
So you're only going to support movies with white women,
and supporting like Mile 22 with Iko Uwais, who was awesome fight choreographer.
Yeah, but
I'm
again, that's an Asian who's doing kung fu in a movie. Like that's just how white people think Asians are.
Asian. It's interesting that we use the word Asians, but there's so many different, like Thailand and China.
They're all in Asia,
and
though.
Japan. They're just completely different.
What do you want to start referring to white people as? Alabamians, Georgians?
Ugh, no.
Okay, so it's white people, just like it's Asians.
I don't want to be called a Floridian. Which I don't think there's anything wrong with Florida. Just
all I'm saying is Asians in the world of Hollywood movies, Asians are in recent years have been the most underrepresented group of people in movies. You might find a funny Asian or a gay Asian in a movie or a TV show, or somebody who eats, who makes sushi or does kung fu.
Yeah, well, you're saying like in America.
I'm talking about Hollywood movies, yeah.
Because I have like most of my life, I've watched every, and not just
I'm not talking
not
about
just
kung fu movies that nobody gives a shit about. I'm talking about Hollywood movies out in theaters, like multiplexes.
I will watch any international movie that isn't just a drama or a romance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I protest all drama and romance, and you protest anything that isn't.
No, I just have a certain. I don't like low hanging fruit movies, like The Meg. I would not have gone to see that if we weren't going to do an episode about it.
Let's not talk.
I would not have gone to see The Meg if we were not going to do a show about it.
I didn't want to see it.
Yeah.
Okay, don't.
All right. So your recommendations that are obviously going to be the best recommendations ever. That's
your movie is better than the one I'm recommending.
I know because I saw 2 minutes of it and feel the same way.
You can watch all the fight scenes on YouTube if you don't want to watch it on Hulu. Mm-hmm. But it is called. Are we done with your movie? You want to give it stars?
No, I don't give stars.
You sound like you're giving it 3.5 or 4 stars.
I'm gonna say it's a fun movie to watch. If I was gonna give it stars, I would say 3 stars.
So if you've seen all the other movies,
no. If you've seen everything, and if you haven't seen everything, choose to go see Crazy Rich Asians over The Meg.
Oh yeah.
I might even recommend it over Mile 22.
No.
Yeah, because I swear to you, Mile 22 is harder to watch than Crazy Rich Asians. Only a certain kind of person is going to be able to appreciate Mile 22. Crazy Rich Asians is way more suited for.
I think a lot more men will enjoy Mile 22 than they would Crazy Rich Asians.
Maybe, but in terms of a general audience, more people would be able to sit in a room and watch Crazy Rich Asians over Mile 22.
I think a lot of
Mile
kids
22 is
would
hard.
enjoy Mile 22 more
Mile
than
20
Crazy Rich
kids. What kids are going to Mile 22? It's brutal.
Every kid.
It's harder to watch. Kids are going to watch.
That.
Kids are going to watch anything.
You don't need to know why a grenade's going into a room and blowing things
Kids
up.
are like you. I watch the fight scenes on YouTube.
Why is that guy punching the other guy? I don't care. It's awesome.
I'm not talking about people that don't give a shit like you. Like watching the fight scenes on YouTube or whatever. I'm talking about people who want to go see a movie. Crazy Rich Asians is way more acceptable to a broad audience. You haven't seen the movie. Why are you so convinced you're right? You haven't seen the fucking movie.
I just know facts, and your movie's fake news.
Don't say fake news. I'll bleep that fucking shit out of this podcast.
Okay. First of all, disclaimer: the movie I'm recommending, it's not.
It's probably terrible. I watched about 2 minutes of it on YouTube with Brad.
The visual effects are bad.
Yeah, so it seems like every shot was a visual effect, though. Like every shot, there's something wrong with it.
But you couldn't appreciate the choreography. I mean, it was.
There's nothing as good as Mile 22 was the other day that I saw.
Yes, but there. I will never get you to appreciate martial arts as an art.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it as a physical ability and as a choreography and the work that goes into it, I just didn't think that was as good. I mean, I'm grading by the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon scale. If it's not that good, I don't really care that much.
But,
and you can't even argue with me about that. Or The Matrix. The Matrix had great fight choreography.
Well,
Yan Wu-ping.
Yes, Yuen Wu-ping is the master. Maybe I could get you to see other Yuen Wu-ping movies. Because those are great. Like with Jet Li, what was it? Tai Chi Master with Jet Li and Michelle Yeoh, who was in Crazy Rich Asians.
I don't know.
It is a really good
Is it in American?
No.
I say, is it in American because I think that's one of the most ignorant thing Americans can say.
Oh.
Give me some American.
You have to read subtitles.
Yeah.
I think you have to read subtitles in the movie I'm recommending.
Probably.
Bad. It's called Vengeance of an Assassin. So already you know, if Blockbuster were still around, direct-to-video, you're only seeing that on VHS. It didn't make
That's
it
exactly right. Yeah. Vengeance of a... What was it?
Of an assassin.
Vengeance of an assassin.
Like an assassin needs vengeance.
Yeah.
So it's really just an excuse for a bunch of fight scenes. But okay, I'm recommending it because the action scenes are very entertaining. There's a soccer... Two teams are playing soccer at the beginning, but it's kung fu soccer. And there was a movie about kung fu soccer that came out.
Yeah, it
was sort of like supernatural kung fu. I don't remember what it's called.
Wasn't it like Feet of Fury or
something like that?
It was the soccer movie, and it was really popular. Right?
Yeah,
it was a big hit. I can't think of the name of it either.
So this has it's more practical. But here's the thing: the soccer and the fight scenes in this movie are Thailand brutal. Like if you know anything about the stuntmen and the martial arts choreography, Shaolin Soccer.
Shaolin Soccer, yeah, Shaolin Soccer. That's the name of the kung fu soccer movie.
So this is like brutal, realistic Shaolin Soccer. It's like the things the stuntmen do.
Yeah.
I mean, I showed you some of the stuff. They're like falling onto metal what is it? Grills, or I don't know what it was, but like coals, red hot coals. They were just falling into those things. There's a fight scene on a train, which a lot of it was terrible, like green screen and CG.
Bad green screen shots.
But there were parts on an actual train, and you saw stunt people fall in between the trains, hitting their heads and their backs on the metal parts on the way down, and even just flying off of the train onto the ground. There's another guy that got thrown into a pole and then a truck off of the train.
Yeah, they're driving through the countryside, and there's just a truck on the side of the railroad tracks with no roads around.
Yeah, I think that was hiding the cushion the guy was supposed to land on, but he ended up hitting the pole in the truck before he landed on the cushion they had for him. Okay, so this is fun. If you're a guy like me and you enjoy action movies and you don't need great story sometimes, you just want to see amazing action. Because look, for some reason, there aren't great writers writing good movies or good storylines for these amazing martial arts performers and choreographers.
And apparently they still aren't, because that didn't look very good at all.
Right. So you gotta.
So why are you recommending
You gotta watch bad movies to see some great martial arts choreography.
So you're saying if you want to watch a kung fu movie, you better just get ready to watch something that's not good.
In general. But now, I could tell you, I've seen so many, I could tell you the good ones. But this isn't one of those times. This is there aren't a lot of...
This is our short Friday show that's run on for 40 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay. Vengeance of an Assassin.
Vengeance of an Assassin.
Fast forward to the fight scenes, or you can just put it in YouTube, because all the awesome fight scenes are on there. But I saw it on Hulu, and it's actually fun. And not every movie has to be, a Rembrandt or, a masterpiece. Sometimes you can just enjoy the fighting.
Again, we're back to watching movies that are bad, even though they're bad. That's been a topic for like 3 episodes now.
You just have no joy in your life.
I have all kinds of joy in my life. Joy in my life does not come from watching bad movies, though. That just pisses me off. That just pisses me off.
If you know it's bad, you can fast forward to the good parts.
Because that's not what I do. I won't fast forward through it. I'll sit there and watch the whole thing from beginning to end because I don't like fast forwarding through stuff.
So that's your problem.
Yeah.
Okay, people. That's it.
All right. So, guess what we get to see this week? The Happy Time Murders.
Oh, yes.
I have no idea if this movie's going to be any good or not. All I know is the trailers have just totally been like, what the fuck am I watching? And some of them have been so catch you off guard, like I guess raunchy is the word.
Yeah.
Like
it's almost like how you used to feel watching South Park movies,
Yes, that's exactly it.
Or not even just that, but there was the other movie with the puppets.
Yeah.
Like watching puppets have sex.
There's a
scene in Happy Time Murders where puppets are having sex.
What was that movie called? Team
Force
America. Team America.
I think Force was in it, like Space Force. Team Force.
What is it with you and bringing up things you know are going to piss me off? Like fake news and Space Force. Force? I mean, that's an awful fucking name on top of it. We can't talk about this. It's Team America.
Space Force. It sounds like a movie that I'd be recommending.
Oh, it's called Team America World Police.
Oh, why did I put Force in it? I just thought it was Team Force.
So, do you remember that scene in Team America where the dolls are having sex and then he shits on her face?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I do. I hope there's nothing like that in this movie.
Well, there's, what is it called? Silly String? All over the room.
Right, well that is funny though, because Silly String is funny.
And why is it always funny that if you're doing something like that, you're like, ah, ah, and then it stops, and then you go, ah, and do it again? That's always funny. It might not even be funny the first time. You might just be shocked. But then that he stops and does it again. Then it's funny.
I have no idea.
It's why. Okay.
I want to see it out of curiosity. I don't even know if I love Melissa McCarthy anymore. I think she can be great. I just don't think that she is great in a lot of the comedies that she's in because it feels like I'm watching the same movie over and over again.
I think that they tried to take her Melissa McCarthy, the character, and just run that into the ground. But I have seen some previews. She's starting to branch out and take better roles.
Yes.
There's a movie, I don't know, has it come out yet? There's a dramatic...
Yeah, where she's forging the
signatures.
The signatures, the letters from
that
authors.
That looks like it might be a good movie. And
they're saving that for Academy Award times. So she's done a couple of smaller movies like that, but the problem is they're a little smaller, slightly more independent, whatever, different off the beaten path type movies, and they don't always do as well at the box office as her. Hey, I'm going to make the same movie again. We're just going to call it something different. This is her doing that, but in something very different, Muppets. Part of it is, dude, I want to see Muppets curse. I think that's funny.
Yeah,
I think that's funny. I don't want to see Kermit the Frog curse.
I want to see.
You know what I mean? I don't necessarily want to see Kermit the Frog curse.
I'm excited to see Muppets Faces of Death, where I want to see murder scenes with bloody stuffing or something laying around.
I'm gonna say this. I want to see it because I'm curious, but I don't think it's going to be very good.
Well, it could be that the trailers are all the best moments. Like watching them walk, they're all jittery while they're walking.
I think that maybe I worry that the joke will wear off after about 5 minutes. We get 10 minutes into the movie and, Muppets cursing, not funny anymore. It's just them trying to be. Then it's gonna. I'm worried that it's gonna about 10 or 15 minutes in the movie. It's gonna be they're just having him say fuck because it's funny to see the thing say fuck. But after you see it a couple of times, just not doing it for me because the joke itself it needs to be about something more than Muppets cursing and fucking each other.
I think it's just going to be exploring all the different. Because it's like a murder detective movie, so I think the fun is going to be seeing, like I said, death scenes or murder scenes. Just seeing Muppets and all these things you're used to seeing real people in. For example, having sex.
I wonder if Jim Henson himself would have approved of this.
I don't think so.
His son is directing it.
What would Mr. Rogers say?
His son. Is it Jim Henson Jr.? Is that his name? That's not his name. Why don't I remember this guy? Jim
Henson Jr.
Happy Time.
Anyway, we think it's going to be funny, and we hope that it's not going to be a one-joke movie. I think that's what you're saying. You don't want it to be the same joke over and over.
It's not Jim Henson Jr., it's Brian Henson. I don't know why I forgot that. I'm hoping it's not just a one-note joke over and over and over again. Yeah. Because that will make it hard to watch. But we'll see. We'll find out in a couple of days, won't we? Yeah.
I want to see. I hope they have like a Beaker character in there, like tweaking on drugs, like beep, 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 beep. That would be great.
Well, our 20-minute Friday show is now 50 minutes long.
It's probably there was like 10 minutes at the beginning where we weren't funny.
You're never funny. I didn't find you funny one time this whole episode.
Okay, that's your opinion.
That is my opinion, and I'm in charge. So my opinion's the one that counts.
Okay, you can edit anything out that you want, sir.
All right, that's it for this time. We will see you back on next Tuesday when we have hopefully our review of Happy Time Murders with Melissa McCarthy and the Muppets. So if you want to catch up with us, we're at movieisms.com, and you can follow us on Instagram at I'm Becca Meyer
and Balding
Ewok, or you could find us at Movieisms on Instagram. That's it. Pretty good at keeping up with mine, and you're pretty good at keeping up with yours. Actually, you're not very good at keeping up with yours either.
But I did put one out, though.
One. Thank you. We've got 26 episodes out so far.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Movieisms is a production of Super Mega Ultra Entertainment and is produced by Michael Beckemeyer and Bradley Kingston. If you'd like to find out more, follow us on Twitter or Instagram. And make sure you click like on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/movieisms. If you're enjoying this podcast, please take a moment and give us a 5-star review in iTunes. It only takes a minute, and it helps us out more than you can imagine. Thank you very much, and until next time, we'll see you at the movies.